Hi, this is Mary Kay, and today I am demonstrating how to paint a single fir tree up in the Sierra Nevada. These two images here are of pastels that I did in plein air while I was up in the Sierras last week. So, and then I'm going to be working from this one photo I took. You can see here, this was more in the light, and there's some yellows, and there's a lake in there. We're going to try and capture those things. The first thing I want to do, in this one, I definitely put the clouds in the back so that the leaves would show up better. I want to do that again. So I'm going to start with the sky. I'm going to drop this horizon line down just a little bit. So with my sky, I'm wetting the water now. I'm wetting the sky with clean water. I paint on a mahogany board. So if I lift up the paper like this, you can see where the water is. Maybe not in the video, but for my eyes, I can see where the water is and where the paper is dry. I think the mountain just coming down a little bit there is fine. This is not a straight line. Usually you have the mountains going up, but because the tree is this focal point smack in the center, we're kind of breaking the rules, but I think it's good to break the rules once in a while. So what I'm going to do is going to paint a light blue sky. I want to leave a lot of white in it for the clouds that you can't see here, but you can see here. And skies at the top are a little darker than they are at the bottom because there's more atmosphere. You're looking through more atmosphere. I'm going to go with cerulean. I'm going to put the tiniest bit of Antwerp in that and see what it does. Yeah, it doesn't do that much because the cerulean is semi-transparent, semi-opaque, semi-transparent anyway. So here I go with the top. It's already drying a little bit. It's foggy outside, so a little bit more up there. I just added 1/4 of a tip of water to this, so I didn't add any more paint. These clouds are not going to be pure white. I'm just making little brush strokes back and forth. So this is a very pale sky. Now I'm done. I can't go back in and mess with it more. It's just, I leave it alone and it'll go into the paper and soften. The next thing I want to do is take this same color and put a little bit of it down here because there's a lake in here. We'll just go over that. I'm going to add a little bit more paint to this so there's a little more blue showing. Now I'm going to make some light green. So that I just added that yellow into my puddle. Now I'm going to add more Antwerp. So I have a very light green here. So let me test this. That's about the right color there. Touch my paper towel so my brush isn't so loaded. little higher there. There's a bump in that hill. Now I'm going to add a little bit of burnt sienna and a little bit of Antwerp to get a darker green. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some shadows coming down. Oh, I did this one here, and then this one I left that exact same amount of that. So I need to kind of switch that. And I'm going to put some little trees. Whoops, that's the burnt sienna. That didn't get mixed in on that side of the brush. Huh, well, I'm going to go with it. I'm just putting I'm putting little trees at the top here. Just using the side of my brush and brushing up. And they don't even look like trees. But this is not going to be the center, not the focal point of my painting. So, okay, so this is just little trees. I'm just brushing up barely. I have hardly any paint in my brush. I'm really working my bristles in my brush so that they're smooth. That I like that little dark spot, but now we need some of this in here. Okay. Kind of run out of paint. I'm going to make some more, and I'm going to do the bottom darker because the photo it's dark. It's not as dark as these trees here. Okay, so we need a couple more greens. Okay, so Antwerp and burnt sienna. So this is my darkest greens now. I'm just going to put some up coming up here. Going over the water. I'm making little triangles with my brush because I roll it up and I have a little point at the top. And then down here, I'm going to add a little more yellow to this and get a different colored green. That's just, I'm going to just throw it in there loosely. Most of this is going to be matted out. Can't really see. Covering the bottom here, making it messy, going over the water so we know it's there, but it's not. Okay. I feel like here maybe just a couple more taller trees because they really do kind of go up. I'm blocking in the sides here. And just now I'm making darker lines over that wash. Okay, and I'm going to sign that part in there. This is where says Arches, France, and an infinity sign. So I'm going to sign over here. Let's see if it'll go in. I need to sign up about an inch from the bottom of the page. Mary Kay S. period Jolly. With a C of the circle. Okay, and I'll just go over that. Make it sign up better. Throw more flicks in. Flicks all go different directions. Now, where does the tree start from? Okay, I ended up with 2 little spots there. I'm gonna totally ignore them. Not gonna let those bother me at all. This is a case where I almost always say paint the foliage first and then put in the trunk. You know, I think that advice is good today too. So I'm gonna start this photo that I have. It was taken when there was a cloud right on the tree, so it's all in silhouette, and you can paint it in silhouette, but I'm going to add a little, I'm gonna not paint it in silhouette. I'm gonna start with my yellow, and I'm gonna start at the top. I wanna make sure this doesn't matte out of the page, so right in here, I'm just dabbing the corner of my brush here. Actually, I'm gonna go with let's see if I can paint it with this round. So there's just little flicks at the top here. And then there's space. Now I'm really just kind of painting on the left side. And then there's a space. It makes little layers. And then down here, it's gonna go, oh, see, this is gonna be smack in the center, but I'm really painting the left side now because the sunlight's coming from that side. And then there's not that many leaves down here. It's all little branches. And the next step is a little darker green, light green, but darker yellow. And now I'm going to put that in. I'm putting this under all those yellows. Now I can start to make my marks to the right side. You can hear the hawks outside. So each time I stop painting, I'm looking at my picture to see where the next brush stroke should be. So right now I can see through the tree in many, many spots, and that's what you want. Now I'm going to make a very dark green. So this is Antwerp Blue and Burnt Sienna. The darks are going at the bottom of each of these. Oops, that should have been yellow over there. This side is the darks. I'm painting each brush stroke the way that the needles are pointed. Just one at a time. So the sun is coming from the left. And now I'm going to go into pure burnt sienna. I might need a little French ultramarine blue in this. We'll see. Because there's a bunch of dead twigs here. All right, I think that's enough of those. I'm gonna put in my trunk now. The trunk starts way down here. It goes over the lake and through the branches. So I'm going to paint the first part of the trunk with burnt sienna, and then I'm going to add a darker brown to the right side. So just using this brush. So it's have to start down in this green. And tree trunks get thinner as they go up. Okay, so if I'm painting it down, starting down here, kind of have those greens show over it. Okay, when I get to the foliage, I stop and I start. I can always make it thicker. So I need to make it thicker now. And it gets so skinny at the top. I don't want to. Okay, and now I'm going to darken the right side. Because the sun is coming from the left, so I'm just going to go to sepia. Cheating. I could have had French ultramarine blue. Okay, so this is dark down here. This is all in the shadow. And now I get to start playing. I can either use a little bitty brush or the bottom of this one. This is okay. Just using sepia. I'm going to try my little bitty brush. This is a 1. Alrighty, so the branches here at the bottom are coming down. They're all you could even try scraping these in with a credit card, because if your trunk is wet, you can just scrape it. And sometimes see how the paint goes from the trunk out? That's nice. And it leaves these white lines. I like that. Okay, and then we need to connect these. Up here, we need to connect this little top here. I'm kind of shaking because I've had coffee and I haven't painted in watercolors for a couple weeks. So it's good. It's shaky is really good when you're doing trees. Yeah, definitely have coffee before you paint tree trunks, tree branches. Oh, I like how my brush is separated. Now it's making these little flicky. It's making like 2 or 3 little lines. Get those caught. What else? I'm feeling like I don't want it separated like 2 each time now. Hey. I thought it was such a good idea for that one spot, and now I can't get it to stay together. To keep my bristles together, I twist my brush on the palette. Now it's a point, and I'm holding it up, and I'm holding it this way so that so it's loose, and it's separated though. So I think I need more. Brown in there. I put a little bit up here too. Now I'm going to go back to this brush and put some more greens up here in this lighter area. Nope, wrong green. Let's try that again. I also want to do some flicking over this. So this is a brighter green. Just filling it in, sort of muddying it up down there. Okay, now I'm gonna darken. I kind of like the top of this. I don't really want to touch that. If anything, I could add like one or two little flecks, but I kind of hate to because I love how it looks. I'll try. See, I don't. No. Okay, now here though, this is a little light, and this is a little light, not dark enough. Do a couple flicks over here. So when you're painting foliage, you have to paint a mass of foliage, and then you can add a couple little details to make the needles. You're only painting the 2 or 3 needles. The rest is just a mass. And then I'm going to make this darker in here. It's kind of it's starting to look like a tree now. I'm going to do a little scratching and see if I can get anything to show up. Okay, I think that's it. That's my tree. It's a little too even. I'm going to make it a little more irregular. Like this part's here skinny, but then one of these really comes out more. So I'm gonna make a little bigger branches out here. Ah, not enough paint. Irregular. Pretty weird looking is what I want. Okay, I'm just kind of looking at the picture and trying to see if I'm gonna darken my trunk a little more. My brush is kind of up in the up here. Okay, I think I should stop now. Okay, thanks for watching.